That new Asian hate bill is deceptive because all it does is empower the police. But they packaged it under Stop Asian Hate so these politicians can act like they did something when they don't really care. The same day 6 Asian women were murdered, Biden deported 33 Vietnamese war refugees, violating international law.
Well, actually, I feel the same thing about the whole Black Lives Matter thing. I just feel like it became a trend. I feel the same exact way that she feels about the whole Asian hate crime bill that was the crime law bill that was passed. Because, yo, black people, we've been complaining about bullcrap for years. Now, the difference between Asians and blacks, and it's no hate, no shade, is that we predominant. First of all, this is our country just as much as white. Actually, it's our country more than white people's country, to be honest. But that's a whole nother conversation within itself because we were here with the Native Americans before Christopher Columbus even came. But what I want to say is we dominate sports, we dominate entertainment. Where our faces are known as representation. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we make this country a better place because 95% of the NBA, which is the basketball league, is black. 95% or like 90% of the NFL is black. You see what I'm saying? And these are the two predominant sports that are the most watched in America. What I'm not even really expressing myself how I want to express myself. Maybe because it's too early or something.
This was also on the My Lai massacre anniversary, where American soldiers had brutally massacred Vietnamese women, children, and elderly. The US empire is so horrific, the only way you can maintain public support for these atrocities is by painting Asians as enemies of the state. So, only until the US stops militarizing in Asia and spewing lies to manufacture support for wars will the violence stop. But neoliberalism lets politicians pretend like they're good people, all while committing militaristic violence overseas, and mirroring that same violence at home by militarizing the police departments in black and brown communities.
This guy right here is responding to what she was saying and everything like that. I'm sorry about earlier trying to express it. I think it's still early or something.
I just had a crazy thought after watching that video. So, if this new Asian hate crime bill empowers police with the ability to identify and charge people with committing a hate crime, that means the government is using Asian identity to oppress other communities of color again. Now that these things are being seen as hate crimes towards Asians, who do you think they're going to charge with hate crimes in order to give them a harsher sentence?
Blacks.
They don't plaster that white dude who got beat up by that Asian grandma all over the news. And to my knowledge, the Atlanta shooter still has not been charged with a hate crime. This has model minority myth written all over it again. Are using the Asian identity as a way to put down other communities.
Yep, he's talking about blacks, just like I called it out.
Where's the bill that makes it easier to charge people with a hate crime when the attacks are done to a black, brown, or an indigenous person? KKK is still around and doing their thing. This bill just does not feel right at all, and I really hope I'm wrong and I'm reaching for something that's not.
The purpose of my channel is honestly to take people's experiences like this. Like, I'm not Asian, so obviously I can't speak from an Asian man or woman's perspective. I am a black man, so I can speak from a black man's perspective. But what I can do is I can take these people's experiences, their stories, their knowledge on things that they've gone through, and this knowledge on just certain subject matters that I might not be abreast in. And what I can do is I can give my perspective, and we can, and pretty much the purpose of my channel is to start dialogue and to unify people. I'm not here to split people up and everything like that. As a black man, I want blacks and Asians to get along because I know there's a lot of racism in the Asian community. I got videos on that. I got videos on Asian men and Asian women. Really, Asian boy. He's a teenage boy, and an Asian woman expressing that. The purpose of my channel is to unify. I feel like we shouldn't be like that. We should be able to understand each other's struggle. White people are the only ones that will probably never understand struggle. It's just the truth. But every other group can, because every other group has been marginalized and every other group has been, in a sense, oppressed. Now, China is not, from my understanding, China is not like run, owned, and operated by America like a lot of these other Asian countries have, like American bases and embassies there. Like, why is American embassies and bases, why are you planted? Why are you planting yourself anywhere you want? Why are you planting yourself all over these different countries that's not your country? I feel like I'm not really articulating myself the way I want to. But I want Asians, blacks to be unified. I want Asians and Latinos and Latinas to be unified. I want Asians, even in Asians. I want blacks and Latinos. I want blacks and whites. I want everybody to be unified. But will that happen? Probably not, because behind racism is capitalism, and that's how this world is run. This world has to step on somebody some has to step on somebody in order to uplift the other. That's how capitalism worked. Actually, that's how feudalism worked. That's how slavery worked. That's how every other mode of production worked. You know, it was feudalism, then it was slavery. Now it's capitalism. And I think we're going to move to something else pretty soon with all this cryptocurrency and everything going on. Anyway, that's another subject. All right.